Accessible theatre, we started off with doing some workshops with some people that were deaf and also someone who wasn't deaf but had a sister who was. With these workshops, we learned about the different types of sign, we learned how to say what's your name and how to have a simple conversation. We also did some little pieces on our interpretation of a picture and how we can make that picture into theatre that was accessible for people who were also deaf. We also learned about colours, and we played some sign games that also helped us learn other things too. A lot of the games were very straightforward. So we played a game called Red, Orange and Green, where we were split, where there was each section, so there was a red side, an orange side and a green side. Whenever Charlie said red, so she'd go, well, she didn't say red, she did the sign for red, we'd have to go on the red side. When she said orange, we'd have to go on the orange side, and when she said green, we'd have to go on the green side. And we also did another game where we had to do facial expressions. So with the guy who was Freckles, he did a workshop where we had to only use our facial expressions to basically have a conversation, because he was explaining how deaf people mostly speak with their expressions. So I could say it was raining, but I wouldn't say it was spitting or it was raining really hard. I would just like make my expressions stronger or like weaker. So if it was just raining, I'd just go it's raining. If it was raining really hard, I'd go like really hard, basically. So that helped us like be more in contact with our facial expressions while we're talking. We also did a lot of other activities, but then this all led on to us doing an accessible theatre piece to a song which was directed by Lucy. So the song was called Make Your Own Kind of Music. This song was really good because it linked so much to what accessible theatre kind of is, because it's talking about like be yourself, like don't listen to anyone else, just do what you need to do for you. And I really believe that there shouldn't be something called accessible theatre, because all theatre should be accessible. Like, I feel like every piece of theatre, everyone should be able to understand what's going on by the end of the show. No matter what kind of show it is, they should have at least a small understanding of what had happened or is happening. So in this song, we included sign language, obviously, because it had to link to what we had previously been doing with Charlie, Erin, and the person who was called Freckles. Which, that's another thing. People's sign names link to either their personality or who they are as a person. So the person who I can't remember who their name is, which I feel so bad, is called Freckles because he has loads of freckles when the sun comes out. Erin's sign is this because she wore a lot of lipstick when she was younger. And Charlie was called, I can't remember, but I think it was to do, meant loud, I can't remember. But I got given a name by my friend called Labby, who's in our class, who's also deaf. My sign is this, which means cute, I think. So I thought that was quite interesting. But going back to what I was talking about before, within the piece, we had sign. We also had like lots of levels. So with this piece, it was very hard because we started off with doing something, but then we changed it because it wasn't really working. But it was worth the change because now it looks really good. So we had to focus on our facial expressions. So when there's at the end of the song, there's a bit where we're doing the sign for Make Your Own Kind of Music. So it goes make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So that's what we do for the majority of the song, them signs. And then some people were assigned certain certain lyrics to the song. So for different verses, for my verse, it goes, "You're gonna be nowhere, the loneliest kind of lonely. It may be rough going, just to do your things, the hardest thing to do." So when being taught these signs, Lucy said that a lot of the signs aren't exactly the words. So for my sign, I do two of this sign, but they don't mean the same thing when I say it, when I sing it, and when I do it, but it's the best way to communicate it. Or sometimes just to make it look more appealing and interesting. So like sing is usually this, like going outwards, but with us we just did sing. But that's what Labby was telling us. There's a lot of the signs in the song aren't exactly word for word, but it's making it more accessible. So like what I was saying, it might not be completely clear, but you'd have an understanding of where the story's meant to be going or how it's meant to be.